ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Let's Play Warframe. I'm your host of the most, as always, Francois878, and today we are going to be talking about the brand new Augment mods that were released in update 20.7. 4 new augments for Excalibur, Volt, Mag, and Chroma. Now, the group is not great. There's really only one that I can see getting any serious play, and the other 3 are more, they're really more for adding quality of life changes to abilities that really ought to have these changes by default, but that's just my opinion. So first and foremost, obviously, as you can see here, is going to be Excalibur's Exalted Blade augment known as Chromatic Blade. This mod changes the base damage type of Exalted Blade to the energy color that Excalibur currently has, so blue, electric, white, frost, red, fire, green, toxin. And it also increases the base status chance of Exalted Blade by 50%. Now, with 180% power strength on your Excalibur and this mod, you will be able to get to 100% status chance. And it is a beautiful, beautiful thing. With the right mods on your melee weapon, when it comes to Exalted Blade, you can melt armor off of high-level units. You can crowd control huge groups of enemies with blast. You can confuse huge groups of enemies with radiation. Viral is great. Gas is great. This is an absolutely incredible, incredible augment, and I absolutely love it. The one downside of this augment is that you're going to lose your physical damage procs. So no more slash, impact, or puncture, which really the only one there that you're really going to be sad about losing is going to be your slash. But it definitely makes up for it by being able to smash out your corrosive and blast and gas and viral procs. It's an incredible mod. It's great. I love it. It can easily fit on even generalist builds, builds that don't specifically focus on Exalted Blade. Now, the second mod I want to talk about is going to be for Chroma. It's called Guided Effigy, obviously for his Effigy ability. Cast and hold to make Effigy move to your aim point. Deal 2,000 damage per second to enemies in its path and roars upon arrival, stunning enemies. I think you should be able to move Effigy as just a basic function of the ability. It's kind of makes me a little salty that they decided to put this on an augment, but it makes the augment desirable if you're going to be using Effigy a lot. The bonus damage per second is meaningless past level 30, and stuns upon arrival, that could be interesting if you want to do like lots of short little trips back and forth so that you just continuously stun people. It could be viable. I'm not sure it's very practical, but it's not necessarily a bad augment. It's just part of that augment should be part of the base ability, I think. I don't know. DE is just being sneaky, adding quality of life changes to abilities through augment mods, pretty much. Third ability is what we're showing off here. This is Magnetized Discharge for Mag's Magnetize ability. Wow, say that 10 times fast. But Magnetized Discharge allows you to manually detonate magnetized bubbles by recasting on target. Enemies hit have a 50% chance to become disarmed. Again, you should manually be able to detonate your magnetized bubbles. There should not be an augment ability. There should be a quality of life change. But there you have it. Now, normally the way you use magnetized bubbles is you set up a spot on the map that's a choke point. You set up a magnetized bubble, you blast it, and anything that tries to come through the bubble dies. That's normally how the ability works. With Magnetized Discharge, it kind of changes the ability to be a quick double tap on your 2. So anything in the range of the explosion doesn't immediately die, but instead has a chance to be disarmed. It's an interesting crowd control ability. I'm not sure it's super practical because you are sitting there having to double cast an ability, leaving yourself fairly exposed. You can move around a little bit, but the 50% disarm chance is also very disappointing. It should absolutely be 100%, especially considering the range for the explosion isn't all that great to begin with. I think the fact that they have it set to only be 50% is kind of silly. Now, obviously, it is a cheaper ability. It's only 50 energy, so I'm guessing that could have something to do with it. I'm not that impressed with it. I think that if they tweak it a little bit, tweak those numbers a little bit, it could be viable. But right now, it's not great. Last, but actually probably least, is Volt's augment for his electric shield. It's known as Transistor Shield. Allies can now pick up your electric shield. 100% of damage absorbed by electric shield will be added to Volt's static discharge. Now, it's very important to mention that any electric shield will contribute to the static discharge. Your allies don't have to have picked them up to get bonus static discharge damage. That's very important. And that's very important because allies will never pick up your electric shield. It costs 5 energy per second and 1 energy per meter moved to pick up an electric shield by default with no efficiency mods on for a Volt. Now, when an ally goes over and picks up an electric shield, their efficiency mods don't affect it, and neither does Volt's. So they're going to take the unmodded energy drain for that ability, which is completely and totally outrageous, and no one's ever going to use it. What's more important here is the 100% damage to static discharge. You set up a bunch of electric shields, you will basically be able to very quickly get that static discharge up maxed at 1,000 very quickly and make it a little bit more viable. Is 1,000 damage super helpful on higher level content? Not really. Not really. But, you know, up from, you know, in lower level stuff, maybe. Maybe. But it's an interesting augment mod. It's just the fact that efficiency mods don't help with allies carrying their electric shields. That's the biggest part about this that hurts it. If allies mods affected the electric shield drain, it would be an actual way to provide support for your allies in a defensive manner, similar to the Safeguard augment on Noja. Now, however, when an ally picks up an electric shield, they still have a 30% reduction in speed, as well as they're locked into their secondary or their melee. So those things are still bummers. But it's not necessarily a completely irredeemable augment. If they tweak some stuff, this could be decent. Thank you guys very much for watching. I appreciate it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think of these augments down below. Until next time, I've been your host of the most, Friendsway878, signing off.